Derick Giwner along with Matt Rose here at DRF headquarters to talk about some great harness action this weekend. It's the Harness Spotlight for September 15th through 16th. The 17th also has a great race in the Bobby Quillen Memorial at Harrington. The 15th, which is Saturday, has some great action at Mohawk, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to specifically look at the Elegantimage final, the 3-year-old filly trot, where we have a great field here, but the card in general has the Wellwood, the Peaceful Way, Metro Limbs, Canadian Trotting Class. It's a great card on Saturday night at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Here's the Elegantimage field, and looks like we have 3 horses and then 4 horses, 2 separate races.
Yeah, the first thing you notice is obviously 3 horses that are complete standouts here on paper. Horses we've been following all year long. 3-year-old filly trotters, Fatosive, Manchego, and Atlanta are clearly the 3 that we and I would say 99% of the betting public are going to be focusing on. It's a great 3-horse affair. I believe there were no eliminations, so you have Manchego and Atlanta coming off a bit of 3-week break or so, and Fatosive a couple weeks off, which I'm sure won't hurt these horses. I'm sure their trainers will have them perfectly prepped and ready for this event. Might not be the greatest betting race in history, but certainly an intriguing race. And if you key in on one of these 3 horses and you got to bang out some cold numbers, you can still get paid in this race.
Well, obviously Manchego and Atlanta didn't meet in on Hambletonian Day, as Manchego won the Oaks, Atlanta won the Hambletonian, but they did meet up in the Casual Breeze at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and we're going to take a look at that video right here to see what happened. And basically what happened is Manchego got away soft and Atlanta couldn't quite catch up.
I was going to say nothing really happened. Manchego was able to get away with the 27-3, 56-2 under no pressure, and when Atlanta came coming, it was too late, and Manchego obviously had plenty left in the tank. Don't take anything away from Atlanta. She ran a race. She was just at a major tactical disadvantage on that evening, and now they face off again with the added twist of Fatosive in the mix. I still think Fatosive would probably be maybe a bit on the outside looking in, odds-wise, probably 3rd choice in the wagering, and tactically speaking, because you figure that Manchego and Atlanta are probably going to line up 1-2 in some capacity. The only question is who's going to be cutting the mile. I got to believe Atlanta will be cutting the mile.
Well, I was going to say, the key to this race here is this the race where Scott Zero and the driver Atlanta
Before
says,
you say it, yes.
I'm going to the front here, and I'm not sitting behind Manchego this time.
I cannot imagine, unless Yannick just puts his head down, is intent on controlling the pace here. That's the most intriguing thing, and then you're going to have Fatosive obviously most likely slightly off the pace, maybe uncovered grinding or something like that. The key to this race is who controls the tempo. Is it Atlanta or is it Manchego? And I'm going to take a stab that Scott Sire and Atlanta get super aggressive now and fire to the lead. We see how fast you can go early on, fire to the lead, control this pace, and look to have a tactical edge in both Manchego and Fatosive. So that's where I'm going with Atlanta.
First of all, the purse is more than double what it was in the Casual Breeze here, and Atlanta can't afford to lose this race to Manchego if she wants to win divisional honors. I mean, yeah, I guess she could technically, but at some point people are going to look at head-to-head and they see Manchego beat her a couple of times. That's going to go against her. I got to think that we're going to get the all-out effort here from Atlanta, and whether or not it's good enough, I guess we'll find out. I'm on Atlanta's bandwagon along with Matt here, which means we're going to move on to Sunday. And Sunday has the stakes action is mainly at one track, and that's the Red Mile. There are 8 $250,000 Kentucky Sire Stakes finals. We'll find out who the best of Kentucky is, which is, since it's a dual eligibility state, that means the best of some other states as well.
Yeah, these races, these Kentucky Sire Stakes finals have certainly taken on a new look this season, with a lot of the, like you said, the dual eligibility and a lot of familiar names, a lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar
And you see them up on the board here in this 3-year-old colt trot final, where we have, Hambletonian horses all over the board here, Tactical Landing, Classy Chap, and Wolfgang for certain. Those are the 3 standouts on paper, and I assume you're going to go with one of them here.
You just assume I'm going to pick some sort of chalk, huh? Okay. However, I'll go with a slight upset. A horse that I kind of liked in the Hamble elimination with Tron Smetshammer, Classic Chap, who really had it all his own way in the Hambletonian elimination, and then he was all done when he got all tangled up with Okies Fonstead in the stretch of that elimination. Came back with a couple of dull efforts, obviously overmatched in the Hamble final. It's an impossible spot in the Zweig. You could say it's a little overmatched. However, shows up in the Kentucky Sire Stakes event last week, I believe a rescheduled event, off as a non-better, so I don't know how many people saw it, but what we can see is that Corey Callahan picked up the catch drive for Tron Smedshammer, and she wins, and he wins. So
I would say
I'm just going to stick with that angle.
the track, listen, the time wasn't spectacular,
No.
but I would say the track was a second or two off, after they had to cancel Sunday because of weather issues.
Monsoon racing, whatever. They come back the next day over what was listed as a good track. I'm not concerned about time. Yes, we see other horses that go 51, 50, 52. So he went to 53 and 2. You know what? Horse was very sharp in that event. Obviously off a decent, smooth trip. Obviously faces slightly better stock here now, Tactical Landing and Wolfgang. But Corey Callahan's back listed to drive for Smedshammer. Maybe that was the key that that completely woke this horse up. And I'm going to take a stab at what should be a decent, at least third choice in the wagering.
My original instinct in this race was to go with Classy Chap in this race, and then I started looking at it a little bit closer, and I see Classy Chap and Wolfgang leaving the gate here, and Wolfgang eventually making the front. And if Wolfgang's on the lead, and Jimmy Takter, who trains Wolfgang and also trains number 1 Technical Landing and also drives number 1 Technical Landing, when he comes and makes his brush, I just don't see Yannick parking Jimmy Takter out in this race. I think he's going to let him go, and that means that Classy Chap's got to close from third and pass Tactical Landing. And quite frankly, if Tactical Landing makes the lead reasonably easy, I don't see anyone going by him.
Well, you make a very good tactical points there with Tactical Landing. Listen, we all know about this horse, the $800,000 yearling. It didn't pan out as a 2-year-old, moved into Takter's barn, and is banked $189,000 as I'm looking in 7 starts, and obviously is showing all of his ability. But clearly, it should be favored and can win this race. And obviously, Jimmy Takter steers the horse perfectly, with the exception of 2 starts back, but made a huge recovery off a break. What kind of pricing are you going to Tactical Landing?
Probably not a great one. Well, you know what? You could potentially get 6 to 5, 7 to 5. Okay. Somewhere in that range, and I honestly, I think he's the best horse in the race at this point. I don't. We haven't seen a strong race from Wolfgang in some time.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been okay, but he just hasn't looked great. And
he didn't fire in the handball elimination at all. And then it looked just okay. So I mean, can you jump on board now, going for $250,000? The old Yannick driving for Takter angle, of course, or you have the Takter driving for Takter angle, but. I'm just going to take a stab. I like the fresh set of hands. Woke up a horse that I kind of did like earlier in the season in Classic Chap, or you call Classic.
We both had him in the elimination of the Hambletonian, I believe. I believe we both had bets on him.
And we both went down in flames.
It looked good for a while, Race 9, Red Mile on Sunday. It's the Kentucky Sire Stakes final for 3-year-old Colton Gelding Trotters. I went with Tactical Landing number 1. Matt's going with number 3, Classy Chap.
Or Classic Chap.
However you want to look at it. There are 8 Sire Stakes finals on that card. Obviously the big card at Woodbine Mohawk Park on Saturday. We'll be back next week, or at least Matt will. Good luck.
Apparently, solo. See you next week.